Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Kind of dissociating. Oh, I don't have. I don't know the name, but I've seen some like on Facebook. Turtle show type or whatever. You know, like the old yeah. And a bunch of the other really cool.
All right, so Sandman here. I'm here with the Alamo City Locksport meetup group, and we are in San Antonio, and I'm here with the group host. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Nathan Reyes. I host the Alamo City Locksport group along with my other co-host, David.
David and Alan, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
We all host together.
That's awesome. And how long has the San Antonio group been meeting?
So it kind of went on a hiatus for a little bit, and then we brought it back with the help of Doug. And Doug is the one who runs the San Angelo Locksport group, Bobcat Locksport.
Oh, okay.
And he basically helped get us admin rights to the meetup page, and we just kind of revived it. So we went around shopping around for different places to be at, and we settled on this place, Gather Brew Co. And they've just been happy to have us here every month, and we've been meeting up, and the group's getting bigger and bigger.
Dude, there was at least 15 people here tonight. There's a couple people that came in and stayed for like a couple minutes, but solid 15 people that stayed, and we've been here since 7, and it's 9:38, and they're still here. So like 3 hours.
We definitely turn a lot of heads because this place is not unpopular by any means, and a lot of people just come by and they ask us like what we're doing, and we of course offer them to like sit down and join us, and we can teach them. However, most of them are just curious to see what's going on, and the people that do meet up with intention of being here and meeting with the group, they come from all different sorts of skill levels, and it's very entertaining to see what people bring, and even what they don't, because sometimes it's definitely fun to teach people, and sometimes they come up with their own new ways to show me how things are done, and I always enjoy learning from different people and different backgrounds.
And I think I remember meeting you 2 years ago in 2021.
Yes.
And how long have you been picking locks yourself?
I've been picking locks for 11 years now.
11 years,
yes.
Man.
Back in high school when I started, someone handed me a lock, and they just said, "You look like you can pick this." And I'm like, "I'm not going to take an insult to that, so let's go ahead and learn this." And I've been doing it ever since.
And I heard you talking about you've been to DEF CON, you've met Lockpicking Lawyer. I'm sure you've met Deviant Olaf.
I have, yeah, he's a sweetheart.
That's awesome. Man, so at what point did you start interacting with Locksport groups in Texas?
So I actually came back from Afghanistan, and I needed a hobby to like focus in on because my head was scatterbrained, and my family always says you're good at hobbies, you're just not good with managing money, so pick one. And so I ended up settling on Locksport. I just kept diving into it, and then I got curious one day and found out there was a Locksport group here in San Antonio.
Man.
And things went from here to there, and now I'm ended up hosting the group here.
That's awesome. I think you guys put on a really good show. It's always been good, and I know that one of the other creators, his name's Doug Cooper, I think, correct?
Yes.
Or he goes by Coop.
Yes.
And also people know him as Lock Camp, and he's going to be running the Bobcat Locksport. We literally have like 4 Locksport groups in Texas that are legit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. To include Longhorn Locksport.
Yeah.
They are a fantastic group ran by a fantastic individual who goes by Lord Bob.
Yeah.
We love every single one of our sister groups, and we're not the original by any means, but we definitely all come together. We share our resources and we share our knowledge. And
There's a base close by though, right?
Yes, actually, Randolph Air Force Base.
Air Force Base.
We
That's
get a
right.
lot of soldiers and airmen that come by here,
Yeah.
and they're just like, I didn't know this was a thing, and I'm so sorry I'm going to be moving in 2 months, so let me just enjoy for what I got.
That's what I love about this particular group. I love the Longhorn Lockpickers. I've been going to Longhorn lockpicking since like 2013. But those guys are all like security, like all night, like, you know,
They're
like
paranoid sometimes, but
well,
understandably so.
but they're all like IT guys.
Yes.
Whereas when I come here, everybody's like, oh, you know, I was in Iraq when you were. Oh, I was in Afghanistan. I was in the military. I was this.
That's military city.
Yeah. So that's what I love about this group. Like I swear, like 80% of our group is either related to military, or they're in the military, or they were in the military. Like there's some connection there.
Yeah, there's always some person with some story and background. It's funny sometimes when someone comes up and they're just like, oh yeah, I got myself a such and such percentage disability. I'm like, oh, me too. And then we just bond over that and have some fun.
Yeah, someone's like, what do you do for a living? Saying, man, I was like, I'm retired. They're like, what are you talking about? You're retired. I'm like, this is a long story. But
people are shocked to hear that I do stuff in IT sometimes because I'm out here teaching lockpicking. They're like, don't you have your own lock company, your locksmith company? I'm like, no, I work on a computer all day.
Yeah.
And then I come out here and teach.
Yeah, just because I can doesn't mean I do or I should.
No, and I've very rarely had the opportunity to pick locks for people that desperately need it. The only one of the times under my belt though was in Afghanistan actually, when someone needed a drawer opened, although that took all of 30 seconds.
Man. I thank you very much for letting me come out here. It was only an hour's drive, so I will definitely try to schedule coming out here every single time you guys have it. The food here was amazing.
I love the food.
That was some of the best wings I've ever had. And you guys brought some really good locks. You asked me to pick a Brinks padlock, and I couldn't do it. I failed.
It's a tough one. Someone brought that, and they said, "Can you?"
There has so much feedback. Like you
so
think you're
much.
about to pick it, and you get in that false set, and then you're just like, no,
It's
it
a
just
deep false
it
set,
plays
too.
whack-a-mole with
Yes, it's half up, popped out.
you. Yes, yeah.
But yeah, no,
But
this is great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to interview a couple other people, and hopefully the sound came through, but I really appreciate it. If people want to find you, how can they find the group?
So you can actually find us on Meetup. If you search Alamo City Locksport, you'll find us on meetup.com. If you want to find me in particular, I'm My Chameleon Hates Me on Instagram, although you can find me by whatever name. I'm free to contact, free to interact with. But yeah, reach out and just say hi or ask questions if you need it.
I'll add links in the description of this video to all of your social media. But for sure, I love how big Texas is getting. I would love to see. Do you guys have a group sponsor yet? Do you have any sponsors?
We don't have any sponsors. However, Longhorn Locksport was lucky enough that Lord Bob happened to come across some internet fame and was able to really seal a deal on that. But I'm happy for him. As far as us, we're concerned, that would be an amazing opportunity. However, we're floating by and we're just enjoying our time over here.
That's all right. So if you are watching and you have your own company, if you're a Locksport, lockpick manufacturer, and you would like to get your name into the Locksport community, I'm going to provide links in the description down below. You can reach out to these guys. They're looking for sponsorship. One thing that really helps is if they can get just wholesale pricing so that they can purchase tools in bulk so they can provide tools to the community. They had 15 people come out this time. They're probably going to have 20 come out next time and 30 the next time. This stuff gets bigger and bigger as the weather gets better and better. So that would be my recommendation. Thank you so much for letting me come out. And I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. It's very humbling, and everybody here was super nice. And I'm definitely going to be back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a welcome guest.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, so I'm here with David, and David is one of the co-hosts of the Alamo City Locksport Meetup group. Why don't you tell us about yourself? When did you get into lockpicking, and at what point did you get drawn into this? First off, tell us about yourself. Are you from here in San Antonio?
So I actually grew up north of here in Waco, mill brat, been around, but it was actually up in Waco whenever I got into Locksport.
Did you have family that was in Temple?
I did not know.
Or not
Air Force.
Temple? Oh, okay, Waco Air Force. Oh, okay. I was thinking, what's up there? What is it? It's at Fort Hood. I was thinking of Fort Hood.
Yeah, we were an army.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a kitty. So you're a military brat. At what point did you start picking locks?
So that was actually also up in Waco in high school.
Really?
Buddy and I were just joking around. We were on Instructables back when it was having its heyday, and he found one that was how you can make your own lockpick set. And both of us had just gotten our licenses. Both of us got older vehicles. Yeah, changed the windshields. Yeah, let's go ahead and just recycle them. So we stripped down the old windshield wiper blades, grind them down. We start picking the back door of his mom's house. And
That's awesome.
She wasn't thrilled.
With windshield wiper blades.
Windshield wiper blades.
That's awesome.
Because the spring steel and the
Yeah.
keeps them attention.
Yeah, that's really great. What year was that?
Oh god, that would have been 06, 07.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't start picking until 07.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. At what point did you start finding Locksport meetup groups to gravitate to?
So that wasn't until far more recent, actually. That would have been in about a decade after that. So, about 2017. Drove up to Longhorn Locksport with a buddy of mine.
Was Jagor there?
I think
Jonathan
so, yeah.
Gordon? He's the bald guy, real tall, skinny guy?
Yep.
He's amazing.
Yeah. If you ever hear the story of the weird dude in the kilt who was locked to a chair for 45 minutes.
Was that you?
That was me.
Okay, I'd never heard that story. I'd never heard
Yeah.
it. What happened?
So,
They handcuffed you to a chair?
yeah, I just gotten used to taking both stages of the handcuff. Like, okay, cool. So you're used to it? Yeah, I'm used to it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just let my hands rest, whatever. So I'm stretching in the chair. One of the guys walks behind me, slaps one on. Like, oh, y'all want to play this? Okay. So I, being a smartass, playing around the other side, lock the other wrist.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that the cuff actually went through the chair. The chair
Oh.
loops. So I was stuck to the chair.
Wow. Were you stuck in a way like they didn't want to let you out, or were you stuck like they couldn't get you out either?
Oh, I think they were too busy laughing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Awesome. Good things and bad things can happen out of that, but
Oh, yeah.
luckily you got out. You didn't have to go
Yeah.
either direction. So at what point did you find the Alamo City Locksport meetup guys?
So that actually was around summer of last year, and at the time they weren't actually meeting.
During COVID?
There were some other
Gotcha.
before my time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so just shot a message to the organizer of Cooper
Oh, okay.
of
Yeah.
on the meetup page for this group,
Gotcha.
and just asked like, hey, are y'all looking at meeting again, starting this back up?
Yeah. After COVID?
I think this was their second to start after COVID. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So 2022 or 2023?
this was 2023. last
Oh,
year.
okay. So like 6 months ago, kind of.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Was that at the old location?
That was over at Alamo Beer Company downtown.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I think that bar is no longer there, right? They were
No,
meeting
you're
at a
right.
bar that's not there anymore.
You're right. Sorry, they were at the Dooryard.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Dooryard. That's
Yeah,
right.
over by UTSA.
That was surprisingly a lot of fun.
yeah.
Like it was a small venue, but they had like this long space, and we had like 30 dudes there. Like that was actually a really cool venue.
yeah.
It was a very unusual place to do it, but also it was like we just fit right in.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then you guys are helping here. That's amazing. And what I really liked about seeing you and Alan is both of you guys, as soon as y'all see like a new guy show up, you immediately like zone in and hone in on this guy, and you're like, hey, how can I help you? You had tools. You brought a whole bag of locks. I actually saw you walking down the street as I was looking for parking. I was like, yep, that's a Locksport guy. Nobody walks in with a bag of tools into a bar at 7:00 at night. So unless they're carrying locks and tools.
Yeah.
So I totally spot you from a mile away. But it was so cool. Like you just set the bag on the table and you set 5 feet away from it. People are just digging through the bag and picking locks and learning. And anybody had a question, you immediately got up and you went and helped them. That's what I love about all of these Locksport groups is that there's usually like 2 guys that are just like, I'm the guy, come to me, I'll come to you, we'll help you, we'll give you tools, we'll give you locks, we'll teach you how. The guy that you taught, so here's the deal, I'm gonna interview him, but you taught a guy how to pick locks, and we were both like, I don't think you get how locks work, because he was doing some weird stuff with the lock, because he just didn't understand how pin tumblers work, and we had all these clear acrylic locks and cutaway locks. And he's like, so what you're telling me is I gotta rotate the pin upside down and call it purple and then it'll just open up, right? And you're like, what? No. And so we had a really hard time, and he was a nice guy. The dude slayed locks. Slayed. He picked like 15 locks from white to orange. Like I was like, well, I guess you'll pick green belt locks now. So I guarantee he picked those green belt locks too.
I think he has. Yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, that's one thing I love about this. Like,
Good Lord.
if you watch me pick whenever I get a chance to, I suck at it. I love it, but I suck at it.
Yeah, I suck too. Like green belt is like my sweet spot of where I enjoy lock picking, and then blue belt, purple belt is challenging for me. Brown belt, everything above, I suck. I can't do it. But to see somebody be like, I don't know how to do this, and like you have to thoroughly paint the pigeons, and you're like, no, like here, just do it this way. And we showed him, and he picked all the locks on the table. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, what the fuck? Like, it took me 6 months to get to what he did inside of an hour and a half, and he didn't even know what a lock was. So I was like, we are right. So you guys did a really great job helping this guy. He went above and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
I was very impressed. And I absolutely loved it. We had a really cool locksmith show up, super nice guy. He was like, showing me his locks, and we were talking stories and stuff like that. Like everybody of every different level and background seems to gravitate towards this group.
Yep.
And I love that whether beginner or intermediate, everybody's here. So thank you so much for putting this on. You're going to step in front of the camera. I appreciate it. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And do you have any social media you'd like to give out that people can get a hold of you?
I don't, but if you're in the San Antonio area and you want to join us one night,
Didn't I ask you what your social media was and you sent me a link called pornhub.com? What was
no,
it called?
Definitely no.
Oh, okay. Maybe. All right, there's something else. I'm just kidding. No, but you don't have any social media? You don't have any Instagram, no
don't.
Facebook, nothing?
No.
Right on. What do you do for work?
I'm a Scrum Master, actually. So
What's that?
Scrum Master.
What's that?
So it's the people side of product management.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit of industrial psychology, but more just servant leadership in action.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because there's guys in here that are like doing legit spook stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and so I didn't know if you were one of those guys.
No.
For not having social
for
media.
now.
That's all right. It's okay. If you have any links in the future, message me. I'll always update this video and I'll put your private links or your personal links in the description down below.
Yeah.
I was joking about Pornhub. I don't know what that is. So, anyways, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
You too. Appreciate it, Sandman.
For a living. Facing you for this, or we facing the camera again?
We can. You face my
All
fat,
right, yeah.
and I'll face this area. We'll
Look
go
away
back to
from each
back.
other and yell at each other.
So I'm with Will, and Will here is actually active duty Navy. If you don't mind me telling the world that, and
It's public record, I think.
and you're here for the Locksport meetup group, Alamo City Locksport. You've been picking locks for quite a while. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into lockpicking? When did you start getting into lockpicking? And what brought you into the Alamo City Locksport? Let's start out with at what year and how did you get into lockpicking?
Sure. So I picked up lockpicking last August, actually. I got the Navy paid for me to go to DEF CON as a cybersecurity
No
person.
shit.
Yeah.
They paid you to go to DEF CON.
Yeah, I got paid to go to DEF CON.
Man.
So I went to DEF CON 2020, or I guess was it 31 this year?
That's
30,
amazing.
33?
That's cool.
I didn't
I'm
track
going
it.
this next year.
Oh, cool.
The Navy's
Yeah.
not going to pay me, but
So the Navy paid for me to go. I went and they didn't tell me to do anything specifically, like no classes or anything to follow, so I just kind of did my own thing. And I stumbled across the Physical Security Village and ran into some of the guys from TOOL, the open organization of lockpickers. And they were running a talk at the time I showed up on the basics of lockpicking.
was that Deviant Olaf?
No, I didn't get the guy's name.
Gotcha.
It was not him though. I recognize his face now.
Gotcha.
But so they had that class, and then I went and wandered around the tables full of locks they had. They were selling some of their lockpicks. I have a set in here. If you don't mind me plugging
Yeah,
that
sure.
locks,
Yeah, go ahead.
they're in this bag somewhere. If I don't grab them in the next 3 seconds, well, I'm not going to dig those out anymore.
That's all right. What lockpicks did you bring with you?
So I have the Necessary 9 and the combs from TOOL, and then I have the Covert Instruments Echelon set with my Emoji B
Nice.
Velcro patch on there.
Nice.
And that's fun. Those have been treating me well. Got a couple more in the mail. I'm excited for it.
That's awesome. I brought my Echelon set as well. At what point did you? So you went to DEF CON and you started picking locks there, but you said your dad actually taught you how to pick a lock.
My dad taught me just like the basic Master Lock 1500s.
Yeah.
The little dials. That was fun.
Yeah. That's
that was
cool.
a nice little party trick, but nobody uses.
Yeah,
those
but that was a
anymore.
cool story.
It was a cool start into this.
Your dad came back from Afghanistan, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Let me
He's
show
like,
you how
"Let me
we
show you
break
how to
into
break into-
stuff."
break into stuff,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
So
what's
it's
nice
nice
meeting
meeting
you guys. Hey,
Oh,
man,
it was nice
nice
meeting
to
you
meet you too. Sorry about that. So you started picking locks. Your dad showed you how to pick little master combination locks when you were in middle school. He came back from Afghanistan, and he was military. You're military, and then you got sent to DEF CON by the military. Were you wearing plain clothes and stuff too?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
We're trying not to get us abducted by whoever might be hanging out in Vegas for DEF CON,
That's true.
All
That's
kinds
true.
of people from all over the world. They don't want us to get beat up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they have people that I remember they used to play games where they'd be like,
Spot the Fed.
Yeah.
They fortunately, I guess there's a difference between the military people at DEF CON because there's tons of people. They do a thing every year called VetCon. It's like a little party that
Really?
they throw. Yeah, it's a vets only
during
party.
or after?
It's during night 2, I think. Yeah, it's a party. It's vets only. It's a big deal. There's
I want to do that.
A lot of veterans.
That's
You
great.
should definitely go.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going.
It's
going.
free drinks, free everything.
I don't
while you're
drink.
in there. Well,
You just lost me at that. I'm gonna be honest with
it's
you.
the perk of Vegas. There's a lot of places. Drinks are expensive. You
Did,
go into
did people
Vegas.
spot you as the Fed when you were walking around with your
Nobody-
mustache and shave and?
Well, I didn't shave. Fortunately, I was able to grow the beard out a little bit. So, I looked like a Fed that hadn't shaved in 2 weeks instead of like a Fed that was there to spy on people.
That's awesome. So, at what point did you figure out that there was a Locksport meetup group in San Antonio?
So when I came back from DEF CON, having met the guys at Tool, I saw their little map of the world.
Keep talking.
Oh, yeah, and it turns out that
Yeah, still
Tool
good.
didn't have a chapter in Texas. They had a couple sister organizations, and I looked into them, and I found one in San Marcos, one up in Austin, and one out in Houston. And I realized there wasn't anything that Tool was tracking as existing in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And so I, took it upon myself, a task I didn't realize would be as daunting as it was. I set off and I said, I'm going to start my own group. And, I made a friend who was into lockpicking through work, and he now owns a game store out here in San Antonio.
I think it's funny that you call it work, whereas the rest of us would call it like spook shit. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's still work. It's just I can't talk about it.
That's awesome. And so you have a friend that owns a game store on the west side of San Antonio, correct?
Yeah.
And you meet up there on Tuesdays.
Yep.
That's amazing.
I try to be there every Tuesday. Sometimes things come up and I don't go.
I'm going to try to connect with you, and then I will definitely try to make it out there at least once a month. That would be
sure.
fun.
That'd be awesome.
If you'll have me. That would be super cool. And then you heard about the San Antonio Locksport meetup group. How often have you been coming here?
So this is my first time here in
Oh,
the
okay.
San Antonio meetup. I found them quite on accident, actually watching one of your videos. Because you mentioned the Austin meetup, or going to one of the Austin meetups, and you said you'd been to all these ones in different cities around Texas.
There's a lot.
Yeah, and you're like, I've been to all these other ones, and I was like, man, I didn't know any of these existed. And I had looked in the area, like on Google and on Facebook and on Meetup, and I looked for San Antonio locksmithing or lockpicking or something, and I wasn't using the right keywords. And then for whatever reason, I was
Meetup
watching,
is weird like that.
Yeah,
you have to use the correct
for whatever
keywords.
reason, I was watching your video and my brain clicked. I was like, oh, it's going to be Alamo City, if anything, just like everything else around here is Alamo City. So I look up Alamo City Lock in Google, and first thing pops up is the Alamo City
Wow.
Locksport meetup page. And then lo and behold, 2 weeks out, and they were like, hey, we have our meeting on February 3rd. And I was like, well, don't mind if I do.
That's awesome.
Here I am.
That's awesome. That's crazy. And this is your first one. And you've already been running your own group on Tuesdays.
Trying.
That's awesome.
Mostly just me right now.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll get it big. What I'll do is I'll come out, if not in a couple weeks, I'll come out next month. I'll try to come out sooner than that. And we'll do a video, even if it's just 2 or 3 of us. That'd be fun.
Sure. Yeah.
So that'd be a lot of fun. What have you noticed? So this is your first real Locksport meetup group outside of DEF CON and outside of what you do at the game store with your friends. Is there anything that you noticed that was different or new or unusual that you were either expecting or unexpected? What are your impressions of this meetup?
I was actually surprised at how friendly and willing people are to trade locks. I was, the people at DEF CON, I guess they have so many examples, they're trying not to lose them.
Yeah.
And nobody else at the game store brings their own locks. It's just me, and I have to keep track of everything. And then
Did you ever-
Nathan was in there just handing me locks. He handed me like 3 or 4 just to take home and mess with.
Yeah, and he was like, here, try these, but
Yeah.
don't take them home. You're like, no problem. You put them in your pocket and you left.
Well,
And
it wasn't even that.
I was very
He was just
impressed.
like-
No, it's true.
He was just like, here, have this lock. And I was like, I know this lock. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick it. And he's like, that's okay. Well, we'll see. We'll try again later. And then he came back over later, and he's like, here's 3 more. Take them home. Figure them out. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, these are all black belt locks. I don't know what I'm going to do.
When you were doing the Tool meetup in DEF CON, did they have lock picks with the zigzag handles on them?
No, I don't think they did.
Okay, so there's a company called Southern Specialties based out of Georgia that makes these very unusual zigzag handles. And the reason why Tool has used those in the past is because 1, they're super inexpensive, but 2, if people take them off the table and try to steal them, you can spot them from like 20 feet away and be like, hey, those are ours.
Most of the ones they had when I was there this year, they had, I don't know what the brand was, but there were these black plastic handles that had tape around them.
Huh.
So if they didn't really fit well in anyone's pocket, but they
Yeah.
fit really nice in your hand.
Black plastic. I wonder if they were either Jimy Longs or if they were like a Pro
They
Tech.
were definitely not Jimy Longs.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
don't think Jimy Longs makes enough picks to sell somebody like Tool.
But he did supply like 100 sets to, I think it was Saint Con.
Huh.
So there was a Saint Con, and so he supplied 100 sets. But he has a new set coming out. He's already sold out. But anyways, what's your favorite set of tools?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty biased. I only have 2 sets of tools. I like the tool, the Necessary 9, the tool that Tool makes. Their turners are really nice. I'm biased towards the bottom of the keyway tension stuff, but I've really, as I advance into the top of keyway stuff, I like the ergo turners that came with the covert instruments set.
Yeah, I like those too a lot.
And I'm waiting for. I've got a shipment of tools from Bare Bones coming in.
Bare Bones is good too.
Yeah, I've heard good things about them, and I'm excited to try them out once they show up.
Did you see that Covert Instruments is coming out with new lockpicks like in like a couple months?
I did not.
They're very similar to Jimy Longs, where they have the injection molded handles.
Injection molded stuff. Ooh.
I'm very excited for that, and it's going to be a different tool steel supposedly, with different profiles. Anyways, I'm geeking out. Thank you so much. Do you have any social media? Do you want people to be able to follow you, or
No, this is the closest you're going to get to seeing my face on the internet.
I believe that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to hanging out with you at the future Locksport meetup. What is your group going to be called?
I don't know yet.
Man, I'm looking. I don't. Yeah,
I don't want to like shamelessly plug. I have.
You can shamelessly plug.
Shamelessly plug. I have an idea for a lockpicking based tabletop game, or at least a one-shot D&D campaign.
Cool.
And I might call it like Lockpicking Labyrinth or something.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe.
Oh, and they have
like
to actually pick the locks
Yeah,
to
it'd
be
be
able
like
to press through
physically
certain doors.
picking lock through
I would totally
doors.
do that.
And I'm still fleshing out the rules and like the play style. And what
I
to
will help
recommend
you
for
figure that
locks.
out. I've always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, but I've never been able to find like a good group.
Yeah, it's hard to
So-
find the D&D group. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want the name of the group to be game inspired if I can come up with something.
Sure.
But,
Sure. But when you think of it, let me know. If you, in the future, if you develop any times where you are going to do like regular meetups and you want people to know how to find you and that meetup group, hit me up and I'll add that in the description of the video down below.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So, and I'll just update it there. Thank you so much, Will. I appreciate it. We'll get back inside and I'm going to find somebody else to harass. There's a cat over here just sitting in the plant. I don't know if we can touch the cat.
Can I picture? Hey, little guy.
Just watching us.
Just hanging out, having a good time.
So, Pumpkin, what do you think of the meetup group here? Is this your first time, or would you say that you're a longtime member? Good kitty.
There's a little ball down there.
Yoki doki silly, oh, I'm an idiot.